power of imagination is not just a fanciful escape from reality. It is a gateway to possibilities, a means of transcending the limits of the present and embracing the future with all its potential. In the world around us, there are countless things that constrain our thinking and limit our vision. But the truth is, the world is far more than it appears. The limits we see are often of our own making. The power of imagination breaks these barriers and offers us a vision of the world as it could be, not just as it is. Imagination is one of the most powerful tools available to the human mind. It allows us to break free from the present and explore the endless possibilities that lie beyond our immediate reality. Too often we become trapped in the confines of our current circumstances, believing that the world is limited by what we see, what we know, and what we experience. Yet imagination reveals to us that the world is far more expansive than we could ever have imagined. It shows us that what we perceive as limitations are often only temporary, and that there is a vast world of possibilities awaiting us just beyond the horizon of our understanding. When we imagine, we step outside of the constraints of time, space, and circumstance. The mind, free from the restrictions of the here and now, is able to travel across different times and places, envisioning futures that are yet to come. Through imagination, we can transcend the limits of the present moment, lifting our eyes from the confines of the immediate and seeing things as they could be. It is through this gift of imagination that we can begin to conceptualize a world that is not merely a reflection of our current reality, but a world that has the potential to be something entirely new. What is truly remarkable about imagination is that it does not require a foundation in what already exists. Take a moment to think about the greatest inventions of human history. The aeroplane, the telephone, the internet, the concept of space travel. All of these ideas were once impossible dreams, mere thoughts that seemed far beyond the realm of possibility. In each of these instances, there were people who dared to look beyond the present and imagine what could be. They saw a world that was not yet in existence, and they envisioned a future that was radically different from the one in which they lived. The invention of the airplane, for example, was the result of human imagination pushing past the belief that flight was reserved only for birds. The telephone arose from the imagination of someone who could conceive of sound traveling through wires. Even the idea of space exploration, which once seemed like fantasy, became a reality through the imagination of scientists and explorers who envisioned a world beyond the stars. Imagination is the catalyst for human progress. Without it, we would still be confined to the limitations of what we know, unable to push forward, to innovate, or to evolve. It is imagination that allows us to create something new, to reach beyond the bounds of what is familiar, and to pioneer new territories of knowledge, understanding, and possibility. It is imagination that empowers us to find solutions to problems that once seemed insurmountable. In moments of crisis, when we are faced with challenges that feel insurmountable, it is imagination that allows us to step outside of the problem itself and envision new ways of approaching it. Where others may see a brick wall, the imaginative mind sees an opportunity for growth. One of the most powerful aspects of imagination is its ability to help us overcome obstacles that seem insurmountable. When we are mired in the complexities of life, it can be easy to believe that the world is a series of insurmountable barriers. Our minds become clouded by what we cannot control, and we are overwhelmed by the weight of the present moment. Imagination, however, offers a different perspective. It allows us to see beyond the obstacle, to look beyond the limits of our immediate reality, and to envision a future in which the challenge has already been overcome. When we imagine, we are no longer trapped in the present moment. Instead, we see a future where our current struggles are resolved, where solutions have already been found. This ability to envision a better tomorrow is one of the most powerful aspects of imagination. It gives us hope, and it gives us the strength to persevere through through even the most difficult of circumstances. Imagination also plays a crucial role in the development of creativity. Creativity is often thought of as a rare gift possessed only by artists, musicians, and writers. But the truth is, creativity is not a talent that is limited to a few. It is a skill that is available to everyone. Every person has the ability to create, to innovate, and to bring new ideas into the world. The key to unlocking this potential lies in the power of imagination. When we allow ourselves to imagine without limitations, we open up a world of possibilities that were previously beyond our reach. It is through imagination that we are able to make connections between seemingly unrelated ideas, whether it is in the arts, the sciences, or business. It is imagination that drives creativity forward, allowing us to think in ways that are original, unconventional, and groundbreaking. Perhaps one of the most profound aspects of imagination is its ability to transcend the limitations of our immediate experience and bring us closer to the truth of who we are and who we are meant to be. Imagination is not just about creating things in the external world. It is also about creating a new world within ourselves. It is through imagination that we can explore different versions of ourselves, imagining what we could become, what we might achieve, and how we might grow. It allows us to envision a better version of ourselves, one that has transcended fear, doubt, and limitation. Imagination opens up a world of self-discovery, allowing us to see beyond the person we are today and begin to envision the person we could become. Furthermore, the power of imagination allows us to better understand the world around us. In our daily lives, we are often limited by the narrow confines of our own perspective. We see only what is directly in front of us, and we are constrained by our own biases, fears, and assumptions. Imagination allows us to step outside of our own perspective and explore the world from new angles. Through the power of imagination, we can see the world as others see it. We can understand their struggles, their hopes, their dreams. This ability to see the world through the eyes of others fosters empathy and compassion, and it allows us to create deeper, more meaningful connections with those around us. Imagination offers us a way to break free from the limitations of our immediate reality. It allows us to see the world not as it is, but as it could be. It encourages us to push the boundaries of possibility, to envision a future filled with opportunity and growth. Imagination is the foundation upon which innovation, progress, and transformation are built. It is the source of creativity, the spark that ignites change, and the force that propels us forward into the unknown. When we learn to harness the power of imagination, we unlock the potential within ourselves to create a future that is greater than we ever thought possible. It is through imagination that we transcend the limits of the present and open ourselves to the infinite possibilities that await us. Imagination is often viewed as a whimsical activity, reserved for children or artists, but its true power lies in its ability to transcend the boundaries of the present and propel us toward new ideas and innovations. It is not a mere escape from reality, but rather a profound force that enables us to shape the future. The greatest advances in human history, from the development of technology to the creation of art and literature, have come from individuals who dared to imagine the impossible and then worked to bring those imaginings into existence. The idea of imagination as something more than fantasy is rooted in its ability to create, to envision something that does not yet exist. Imagination opens up a space where the limitations of the present are not the final word. It is a tool that allows us to break free from the constraints of what is and enter a world of possibility. This doesn't mean that imagination operates in a vacuum, detached from the real world. Rather, it provides the groundwork for transformation. Through imaginative thinking, we can take the materials of the present and rearrange them into something entirely new. Whether in science, art, or business, imagination has always been the driving force behind the most revolutionary ideas. It allows us to see potential where others may only see obstacles. In the realm of science and technology, many of the breakthroughs that have shaped modern life began as ideas that seemed improbable, even outlandish. The concept of space travel, for example, was once confined to the realm of science fiction, but through the power of imagination, it became a reality. Visionaries like Werner von Braun and others did not limit themselves to what was immediately possible. Instead, they imagined a world in which humans could travel beyond the Earth and into the stars. Similarly, the Internet, something that connects billions of people across the globe, was once nothing more than a wild idea. It was the imagination of scientists, engineers, and innovators that saw the potential for a world that was globally interconnected, where information could be accessed in an instant, regardless of geographic location. Imagination is not restricted to the scientific or technological realms, though. In the arts, it is the very essence of creativity. Great works of literature, music, and visual art often begin with a simple, imaginative thought, a glimpse of something that exists only in the mind. An artist imagines a painting not yet created. A musician hears a melody that has yet to be composed. A writer envisions a world that does not yet exist. These creative acts, though born in the mind, have the power to transform the external world, moving others emotionally and intellectually. In this way, imagination allows not only for personal expression, but for the creation of shared experiences. The role of imagination in business and entrepreneurship is equally significant. Innovators who change the world do so because they see potential in something that others do not. They envision products, services, or solutions that can revolutionize industries or address societal challenges. The success of companies like Apple, Amazon, and Tesla is rooted in the ability of their founders to imagine not just what exists today, but what could exist tomorrow. Their success lies not in being content with the status quo, but in constantly imagining a better, more efficient, or more accessible future. They ask themselves, what if the world could be different? And then work tirelessly to make that imagined world a reality. Imagination's power also extends to the individual level. It offers each of us the ability to transcend our current limitations. When we imagine a better version of ourselves, whether in terms of health, relationships, or professional achievements, we create a vision of what is possible. This vision acts as a blueprint, guiding our actions and decisions. It provides us with motivation, helping us to push through difficulties and overcome obstacles along the way. Imagination gives us the courage to take risks, to step outside of our comfort zones, and to pursue goals that might otherwise seem out of reach. Moreover, imagination is the passive process. Imagination's true value lies in its ability to inspire and propel us forward, whether as individuals or as a society. It provides a vision of the world as it could be, a world not constrained by the limitations of the present, but shaped by the possibilities of the future. It is the fuel for innovation, creativity, and progress. And it holds within it the power to transform not just our own lives, but the world itself. The most significant advances in history, whether in technology, art, or human progress, have been the result of people daring to imagine something different and then working to bring that vision into existence. Imagination is the quiet force that shapes the course of human existence. It is often considered an abstract, intangible concept, something we associate with creativity or daydreams. Yet, imagination is far more than a fleeting mental exercise. It is the bedrock of progress, the wellspring of hope, and the key to unlocking the potential of a better future. When we learn to harness the power of imagination, we transcend the limitations of our present circumstances and envision a world that could be, not just the world that is. It is through imagination that we gain the ability to look beyond our current challenges, to see the larger picture, and to create a future that holds possibilities beyond our wildest dreams. Imagination, in its deepest sense, is a tool for vision. It allows us to imagine possibilities that are not immediately apparent, possibilities that others may overlook or dismiss as improbable. Through imagination, we can envision solutions to problems that seem unsolvable, new paths forward where others see only dead ends. It is through the act of imagining that we can look at our circumstances and say, this is not the end. There is more. There is something greater just beyond the horizon. By its very nature, imagination does not accept the limits of the present as the final word. It pushes us to think beyond what we know and to question what we have been taught. Imagination is the ability to see the invisible and make it visible, to bring ideas and dreams to life in ways that are tangible and real. In every area of life, from science to art, from technology to philosophy, the seeds of innovation and discovery have always been planted in the fertile soil of imagination. Take, for example, the field of science. The groundbreaking discoveries that have changed the course of human history, like the theory of relativity, the structure of DNA, or the exploration of space, did not emerge from the mundane. They emerged from the minds of individuals who dared to imagine the world differently. Albert Einstein, for instance, did not arrive at the theory of relativity by merely analyzing the present world as it was. He imagined a universe where time and space were not fixed but could bend and shift, where the rules of physics were not rigid but adaptable. His vision of the world was one that others could not immediately grasp, but it was an idea that transformed how we understand the very fabric of existence. This imaginative vision led to breakthroughs that continue to impact our understanding of the universe. Similarly, in the realm of technology, the greatest inventions were once nothing more than thoughts in the minds of those who imagined a different reality. The idea of the telephone, for example, was unthinkable to many before Alexander Graham Bell dared to imagine the possibility of transmitting sound through wires. The idea of flight, once considered the stuff of legend and myth, became a reality when the Wright brothers saw beyond the limitations of gravity and imagined a world where humans could soar through the skies. These individuals did not simply accept the world as it was. They imagined a new world, one that existed beyond the current boundaries of possibility. Their creativity, powered by imagination, changed the world in ways that were once unimaginable. Imagination is not limited to the realm of science and technology, however. It is also the driving force behind artistic expression and cultural change. Every work of art, every song, every novel, every film that moves us or challenges us is born of the imagination of its creator. Artists, musicians, and writers alike use imagination to create worlds that allow us to experience emotions, ideas, and stories in ways that we might not encounter in our everyday lives. Shakespeare's plays, for example, gave us a glimpse into the human condition, exploring love, betrayal, ambition, and guilt in ways that resonate across time and culture. The imagination of writers like J.R.R. Tolkien, who created the world of Middle-earth, gave us an entire universe of heroes, villains, and legends that continued to capture our hearts and minds. These artists were not content to merely describe the world as it was. They used their imagination to transport us to new realms, to challenge our perceptions, and to make us think about life in deeper, more meaningful ways. Imagination also plays a crucial role in shaping the future. Without imagination, there would be no vision of a better tomorrow. It is through imagination that we can envision a world that is free from the limitations we face today, whether it be poverty, injustice, inequality, or suffering. Imagination allows us to picture a future in which these struggles are overcome, in which the world is a place of peace, equality, and opportunity for all. It is this vision of a better world that inspires us to take action, to work toward change, and to build a future that reflects the highest ideals of humanity. Imagination, in this sense, is not just a tool for personal growth. It is a call to action, a reminder that the world can be better than it is, if we are willing to dream and work toward those dreams. In addition to its ability to create new realities, imagination also offers us the ability to reflect on our own lives and personal growth. It gives us the courage to reach for something greater, to envision a future where we have overcome our fears, our doubts, and our limitations. Through the power of imagination, we are reminded that we are not confined to the person we are today. We have the potential to become something more, to reach new heights, and to accomplish things we once thought were beyond our grasp. Yet, for all its power, imagination is not a passive activity. It requires action. To imagine is to dream, but to make those dreams a reality, we must act. Imagination without action is nothing more than a fleeting thought, a passing fancy. It is only through action that we begin to bring the imagined world into existence. The great inventions, the works of art, and the social changes that have reshaped history did not come about because of passive thinking, but because of the dedication, effort, and determination of those who acted on their imaginative ideas. Imagination sparks the fire, but it is up to us to fuel it with hard work and perseverance. Only then does imagination have the power to transform the world. In many ways, imagination is the antidote to the stagnation that can arise from routine and familiarity. When we are caught in the cycle of everyday life, it is easy to become complacent, to accept things as they are. But imagination challenges us to break free from that complacency and look beyond the present moment. It encourages us to explore, to ask questions, and to seek out new ways of being, living, and thinking. Imagination keeps us moving forward, ever seeking, ever creating, ever growing. It is through imagination that we find the courage to chart new paths, to push the boundaries of what is known, and to seek out new horizons. Imagination is not simply a luxury for the creative few, nor is it a frivolous pursuit. It is a powerful force that has shaped our history and will continue to shape our future. It is the key to progress, the source of innovation, and the foundation of change. Through imagination, we can see the world not as it is, but as it could be. It is the spark that ignites creativity, the catalyst for action, and the vehicle through which we unlock our true potential. Imagination holds the power to transform our lives and our world, if only we have the courage to use it. Imagination is a gateway to understanding others, offering a lens through which we can view the world beyond our own limited experiences. Often, we are constrained by the boundaries of our individual lives, shaped by the environment in which we were raised, the culture that influences us, and the circumstances that define our daily existence. These boundaries, while necessary for creating a sense of identity, can also narrow our understanding of the vast diversity of human experience. Through imagination, however, we have the opportunity to step outside ourselves and enter the lives of others. It is through the power of imagination that we can begin to understand what it means to live in someone else's shoes, to perceive the world from a different perspective, and to cultivate empathy for those who may be different from us. When we engage our imagination, we transcend the limitations of our own personal story. We open ourselves to the possibility of seeing the world not just as we know it, but as others experience it. The act of imagining someone else's reality is a powerful tool for empathy. It enables us to connect with others on a deeper level, not just intellectually, but emotionally. We can begin to comprehend the struggles, joys, and challenges that others face, even when those struggles are vastly different from our own. This ability to step into another person's life can create a bridge between us and people whose experiences are different from ours, helping us to build understanding, compassion, and respect. This understanding is not confined to abstract concepts or theories. It can also lead to real-world action. When we begin to imagine the lives of others, we start to see the ways in which we can make a difference. It can motivate us to act in ways that benefit not just ourselves, but also those around us. For example, an individual who imagines the daily hardships of a person living in poverty may feel compelled to volunteer, donate, or work towards systemic changes that address inequality. Similarly, imagining the experiences of people from different cultural backgrounds can lead to greater appreciation, acceptance, and inclusivity in a world that is often divided by race, nationality, and belief systems. One of the profound ways in which imagination allows us to understand others is through art. Whether it's a painting, a novel, a song, or a film, artists create work that invite us to enter worlds we would not otherwise know. A writer may craft a character with experiences, dreams, and struggles entirely different from our own. But through the act of reading, we enter into that world and begin to understand what it means to be that person. An artist may paint a scene from a culture foreign to us, but through the image, we are transported to that world and invited to see it from a perspective we would not have otherwise considered. These artistic expressions are vehicles for empathy, allowing us to connect with the stories of others and to understand their realities, struggles, and triumphs in ways that would not be possible through direct experience alone. Imagination also plays a crucial role in conflict resolution. When we are locked in conflict with others, whether it is within families, communities, or nations, it is often because we fail to understand the perspectives of those with whom we disagree. We become so entrenched in our own point of view that we cannot fathom why others might think differently. Through imagination, however, we can begin to understand the root causes of conflict, seeing not just the surface issues, but the deeper emotional, psychological, and historical forces at play. By imagining the experiences and pain of others, we can develop the capacity for forgiveness, reconciliation, and cooperation. It is through the lens of imagination that we can build bridges, heal divides, and work together toward common goals. In personal relationships, imagination also allows us to better understand the feelings and needs of those we care about. Often misunderstandings and conflicts arise because we fail to perceive the needs of others, focusing only on our own desires and frustrations. By using our imagination, we can tune into the unspoken emotions and desires of those around us. We can understand that the frustration of a partner, friend, or family member may not be rooted in the issue at hand, but in deeper concerns that we may not have been aware of. Imagination helps us to listen not just with our ears, but with our hearts, to understand the subtext of a conversation, and to offer support in ways that address the true needs of the other person. Furthermore, imagination allows us to connect with the larger human story, one that spans across cultures, time periods, and geographical boundaries. Through literature, history, and storytelling, we can travel to different parts of the world and learn about the struggles, triumphs, and experiences of people who lived in different times and places. We may never set foot in a distant country or era, but through the imaginative acts of others, we are able to live alongside them, experiencing their joys and sorrows, their victories and defeats. In many ways, imagination is the antidote to isolation and division. Through the power of imagination, we can build a more compassionate, understanding, and connected world, one in which we recognize the dignity and worth of others, even when their experiences are vastly different from our own.